Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's gaming news and we bring it straight to you. This is episode 77 of our podcast, so thank you guys for joining us. I'm your host, Danzel, aka Black Ice, joined by my co-host each and every week. Starting off to my right-hand side here. It's Mr. Goopmaster Flex. What's going on, bro?
You already know. We stay gooping.
Stay gooping as always. And for if you guys are watching down below, got my man May 25th, Mr. 525 himself. How you doing, bro?
Yeah. Tired as usual, but here to talk about these damn games, bro.
We're here to talk about these
Damn
games.
game, let's do it.
Kind of a little bit of a follow-up to last episode about, what the hell we're going to be playing this fall in 2022. So, we got some good news around God of War. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We also got some potentially good news about E3. I'm still a little skeptical, but, we'll get into it. But first off, Chris, I'm going to have you hit us off with the icebreaker here.
All right, y'all. Excuse me. Ding. Little baby icebreaker right there. This week's question is very simple for y'all. What's a game-breaking feature or something that occurred in a video game where you were like, this kind of ruins it for me? It's little... this ain't it. Very simple. I'll start and give you guys my answer, and it's probably a hot take. Don't kill me, please. Don't kill me out there. Don't kill me. All right. So a long time ago, I tried to play Uncharted. Right, and I know it's a great game. I have to go back and play the sequels because I never got a chance to. But the first Uncharted, I liked, but then hated at the same time, right? So I liked the story. I liked the way how the narrative was flowing in the game. What I didn't like was how they handled like enemy concentration and shit like that. It was just like, not concentration, but concentration. How much they like let you fight at the same time. It got really repetitive to me maybe about halfway through the game. And then I would be in certain levels and thinking, all right, there's no way they're going to throw me 30 more dudes to try to kill before I get to this next spot. Nope, they throw you 30 more guys that they want you to kill with the bad shooting mechanics. And I'm sitting here like, bro, I am not having fun. I am not having fun at all. So yeah, I never went back. I never officially finished the game. And then I just never got a chance to go touch the other ones. And I heard the other ones are much better because obviously they're sequels, but yeah, that ruined it for me, man. Like that game for me was almost like what's the name of that? You remember that game True Crimes? Way back, it was like the whole Grand Theft Auto light thing or whatever. That's another one, man, where it was like it was decent in some aspects, but this enemy volume that y'all throw at folks just to like stretch the game out that ain't it, Chief. Like, give us some mechanics, give me some breakups in the fight. Don't just give me, hey, you have to get to this level and get all the way over there, but we're going to give you 300 people that you got to kill on the way, and you're going to only have this much ammo, and your guys only be able to, like, move kind of linear. Yeah. Mansion Link is going to be hard as hell. Like, you're not going to get any of that, buddy. You're going to get through this with your bare hands.
It's funny you mentioned the enemies thing because that was always a problem for me with Uncharted was the shooting mechanic. Like, more specifically, that the reticle was always way off from where Nathan Drake was like shooting. So like, obviously it's over the shoulder, but like I just felt like they never got the over the shoulder view right in the first couple games. And so it would always look like you're about to shoot like over here, but really you're shooting like right in front of you. That shit always bothered me. But I mean, the high point of that game was always like the set pieces, right? Like the moments where there's like a wave of water like flooding over to Nathan Drake, and you have to, like the Indiana Jones moments where you're like trying to run to get to safety. That was always the high point of the game, and then the traversal was always great too. But shooting mechanics were always trash, and the enemies yeah, that could have used some
Just
work.
way too many, man. Just way too many for no reasons. Like, dog, they're not gonna
Yeah, I know what
stop.
you mean. It's like horde, like just waves of enemies.
Yeah,
For no
like it's
reason.
just too many just for some small parts of the game. Like, dude, you don't gotta do that.
Yeah,
You ain't gotta do that. That's
and somehow you
ridiculous.
had like a ridiculous amount of ammo to kill all these people. It's like
Nah,
I
bro.
don't know.
It killed it for me, bro. Killed it for me. Good.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, Manny, what about you, man? What you got?
One like game breaking feature. It's not to a specific game because I'm sure there's multiple games with this feature. Where it's kind of like they force you to play these repetitive side missions to go continue with the main story per se. So like for example, I just started replaying Mafia 3, but like I remember a long time ago the reason why I stopped playing it was because what ended up happening was you're trying to take over the whole city to get back at the mafia boss that betrayed you in the beginning. So in order to do so, you got to do like these ridiculous, like time consuming side missions, take over certain points. And like, let me tell you, like after taking over two parts of the city, it got so repetitive and time consuming to the point where I just like put down the game and I was like, nope, I'm done. I can't. I'm losing my mind over here.
Yeah.
So like those just ridiculous side missions where it's like so linear and like time consuming that like you just need to get rid of because like if it just to like continue with the main story itself is like it makes the game feel like a chore instead of an actual game, and that's what like kind of turns me off of playing games that has like that kind of repetitive feature.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah. I mean, that's basically what my answer was gonna be, but I'm gonna keep the same answer. I just have a different game to reference. And what came to mind was the original Assassin's Creed games. They used to have the most repetitive ass like they weren't side missions, but they were kind of like setup missions to your assassination. Like you had to go down in the street and like follow somebody for fucking forever, or like pickpocket them, or I don't know, just like a bunch of, well, it's not a bunch of stuff, but there were like three specific mechanics that they had. It was like I think follow, pickpocket, and I forget the last one. But you had to do it damn near every time before you got a kill, and it was just really boring. And they did that for the first game, and they kept some of that for the second and third game. But they like added enough that I guess it started to diversify itself. Now it's obviously like a completely different experience when you play Assassin's Creed. Like it's damn near indistinguishable from the original games since it's such more of an RPG. But those early games where like the repetitive mechanics of like set up missions and like I have to follow this guy. Even Grand Theft Auto, the old ones used to do it. Like, oh, you have to tail this guy in a car. It's like I don't want to fucking do that again. I've done that a bajillion times. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to give me one mission with that, fine. But like, find a way to diversify some of these missions so I'm not doing the same shit over and over again in the main story. If you want to give me some repetitive shit in side missions, like, oh, you have to tail this guy and that's the way to earn some cash. So you can go do this next thing. Whatever, that's fine. Like I don't necessarily have as big of a problem with it in side missions, but when I'm doing repetitive shit in the main missions, we gotta talk. Like that shit can't keep happening.
I agree, definitely.
And that shit's killed a lot of games for me. I mean, it still happens to this day, but yeah, you have to find some way to turn it on its head. Like, oh, okay, if I'm gonna have a chase sequence or something like that, you have to find some crazy shit that happens in between the chase sequence that completely changes the landscape of what I'm doing. Like, just find different ways for me to get through, get from point A to point B. Don't do the same shit 40 times. Like, nah, not here for that.
Yeah. Yo, y'all remember when Anthem ain't have no waypoints? Was it Anthem or was it it might have been damn, what's the name of the Square Enix game that just came out? The one that you hated.
Outriders.
Yeah. It's one of them two games that didn't have no waypoints.
Does it have
I'm like,
waypoints
bruh,
now? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I haven't played it in a minute. But like I was so baffled by that because I'm like, dude, this damn near will put me off immediately. Why is this not in your game? It's in every video game. How did this get past your team? And they was like, nope, ship it. Bruh.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It'd be like that
It's
though.
dumb. Also, games that don't have fucking fast travel. What are you doing?
Another one. That's another one. What is that?
Horrible.
You're making me walk from this side of the map all the way over to this side of the map just for your quest to be like, all right, now go from here and go talk to this person back on the other side of the map. Bree, best stop playing with me. I turn this game off real quick. Stop. I better stop, man.
Yeah, that shit is horrible. Like if I've been somewhere before, let me like go like especially in like big ass open worlds, like let me go fast travel back, man. Don't make me, and then don't make it like cost money or something. That's also a thing I don't like.
Yeah. Fallout 76, we're looking
Yeah,
at
I'm
you.
looking right at you.
Facts.
Don't do
You're
that
like,
shit.
oh, in order to
Oh,
fast travel, you
man.
gotta spend $10,000. That's like Forza Horizon right
You
there.
know how hard it is to get coins in Fallout 76? And then they charge you every fast travel? Unless it's a main town.
Ridiculous. I will say though, Manny, Fallout, I'm not as bothered, or sorry, not Fallout, Forza, I'm not as
Forza.
bothered by because
Yeah, I'm
they
not
give
bothered
you
by
money for everything. Like every five, they just throw money at you 24/7. So like, I don't feel like it hurts as much. It basically, it might as well be free because it doesn't cost as much, and I can recoup that money pretty quickly. But yeah, some of these other games, like specifically, again, looking right at you, Fallout 76. You give me a rare currency and then charge me to fast travel from point A to point B when there's no like it. I mean, it's so dangerous to get from one point of the map to the other too. I guess maybe that's part of it, but I don't know. It's tough to get from like one end of the map to the other. So you're gonna charge me this like exorbitant amount to fast travel over? Fuck that. I hate that shit. Not fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you damn near gotta walk through a nuclear storm half the time. Because there's a legit nuclear storm that happens in the game. And it's like, you want me to walk through this? Come on, man.
That's what it's all about, apparently. But
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
man.
But Chris, thank you for that icebreaker. I know we'd be scraping the barrel for that. Guys, if you're listening though, you're watching, make sure to hit us up with hit us up with some ideas on the Twitter, on the Instagram feeds. Like, let us know, like if you have a good icebreaker that you want to hear us talk about. Because we drying up, 77 episodes. We gotta find new shit to talk about, new questions to pop into.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
but as far as gaming news, though, we definitely got a couple things to talk about. So as we discussed before, we got God of War release date, and we also got some information about E3. So we're gonna start with God of War here. Last week we were talking about we thought it was gonna come out this year, but since we hadn't heard any news, we assumed it might get pushed back. Well, Sony either heard us or heard all the cries of asking for some news for God of War, and we finally got a release date. So God of War Ragnarok is officially coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 November 9th, which might also explain why everything is coming out in October. Like maybe people knew, but that's really all we got, right? We didn't get much as far as gameplay. We got like a really dope looking CG trailer with with Kratos and his son, and it kind of set a tone, I guess. Like I like what I saw from the trailer. His son is grown up a little bit. He's not as afraid. He was holding his own in battle. They were actually fucking shit up in that trailer. I was pretty excited to see that. I liked his little his shield, like how it retracts and all that shit. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
cannot wait. Very excited for this game. But Manny, I know you are the most excited for this game, so I'm gonna let you talk a little bit.
I mean, it's about damn time. That's all I got to say. And I'm sad because, we've heard like rumors about there's supposed to be a state of play for God of War specifically, like last month or the end of it. But I mean, I'll take what I can get. A CGI trailer is enough to get me going. But I mean, I'm just excited to see what kind of bosses we're fighting. I mean, you see that big ass wolf in the end of the trailer, as well as we've seen like a little glimpse of like the collector's edition with Thor's hammer, and I'm just like, I just can't wait to see how like epic this boss battle is gonna be, because that's what God of War is like known for. So yeah, this trailer definitely got me going, I would say. I wish we got a little more than the 30-second CGI trailer, but I guess beggars can't be choosers.
That's true. This is true. They're probably like rushing to try to make sure they get that deadline. So I personally would rather them not take any time away from the development to show us any more gameplay. Personally, I was kind of thinking about this a little bit too. I don't think I want to see any gameplay at this point. Like I feel like I kind of know at this point what I'm gonna get out of God of War Ragnarok. Like I'm not expecting it to completely change the landscape of gaming again. You know, like I think they did that job the first time around, and you're just gonna continue the story. I can't see what kind of new mechanics they can introduce, but I do think they can make a prettier looking game with a bigger scope. And I want to be surprised. So I'm okay with CG trailers up until the point of launch, and then they already got me. They already got me. I'm gonna play the game for sure. I think most people are already gonna play the game because it was a game of the year, from like damn near every outlet that had played the game. So I don't know. I'm excited with what I've seen, and I don't necessarily want to see more until the game comes out. Like I want it. I want to play it now. But Chris, what do you
I
think?
agree.
I'm glad that we got a hard date. Because I really thought this was gonna get pushed back. Yeah, this is a big dub for Sony, I would say, for end of the year type of shit. And to me, it puts it squarely against Hellblade. As long as Hellblade comes out, that's kind of like what I'm looking at this fall is God of War versus Hellblade. I want to see which one takes the
Hellblade's
cake.
not coming out though. We're not.
Even
We're not
it's
getting
not coming
Hellblade.
out.
We're not getting
You don't think
Hellblade this
so?
fall. I mean, we didn't see it at the showcase, so we're not getting it this fall.
But they didn't say we weren't getting it.
I mean, all
You know what
right.
I'm
So
saying?
here's the
Like,
thing,
they
right?
didn't say it.
If I'm Microsoft and I have this showcase and I'm like,
Stop
yo,
being negative.
we're gonna show
Stop
you the
being
things that
negative.
come out in the next 12 months. Why the hell did you
Stop
not
being
show
negative,
off
bro.
Hellblade? Yeah, we are getting Hellblade, bro. Like as far as Microsoft exclusives, we're not getting any for the rest of the year. Like
Come on, bro. Come on.
we're not gonna get any
Have
big
some
Microsoft
faith,
game in the fall.
bruh.
It's not happening. Also, I wouldn't even want those two to go up against each other. Like, no.
I just want it to be a thing because I've been saying it this whole time. I think Hellblade's about to take that step into big boy game territory. So
I agree.
I would have been here for that. Damn. But all right, aside from that, I think it's still pretty cool that we're finally gonna get this game. It sucks, man. I really gotta play the first one still, man. That's how long it's been since I been able to sit down and play on a PS5. Really still want to play that first one, but I'm glad that they're still building on the mechanics from the first game with the sun, and they're improving upon them. What I'm actually curious to see is if the sun shows glimpses of surpassing Kratos in this next one. Because that's part of the point, right? You think eventually Kratos would fade off and they probably make the sun the main character in the game, right? That's where I'm thinking it's going. Or am I tripping?
I feel like this is supposed to be a trilogy, so I think maybe we'll start to see shades of it in this game, and then like it'll actually pop off in the next game. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll
Actually-
get to a point. Go ahead.
They said this is going to be the last game in the North mythology.
In Norse mythology, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the last game. Like, because they could pivot to, working more with Greek, right, or something else.
Yeah, they already did Greek, and they can do something else. I'm just saying, like, this is Ragnarok. This is like downfall. Like, this is where it ends for like that mythology.
I still feel like this isn't going to be the end of their story. Like, I don't know. I would be shocked. I'd
I'm
be
sure
shocked.
there's going to
if
be
this
more
is the end
God
of
of War.
Kratos. Right? But
Yeah,
I
there
feel
will
like
be more.
Well, I feel more specifically like this portion of God of War, it feels like it was set up to be a trilogy. But I could be wrong, and maybe they goes through a whole new revamp after this. But I always envisioned this to be a trilogy where Kratos' son, gets to like 20 or whatever, and now we're actually playing as him and not playing as Kratos. Like Kratos maybe dies, or something along those lines. Like I feel like they're setting it up to like kind of like Logan, right? Movie Logan.
Yeah,
I envisioned the third
exactly
movie
like
to
that.
be, the third game to be exactly the way Logan was. Like Kratos is literally on his final stand. Like the last thing he's ever gonna do. He's getting his son
Just
ready.
visceral. Just taking heads off.
Yeah, I mean, and then Kratos is already like just an absolute animal, but like with the intensity that we felt in Logan the movie, like that's how I envision the next game. But maybe this is it. Maybe this is the game where he's just way more intense, and this I don't know. But that's always what I thought the moment I heard Ragnarok was getting released. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
I like that comparison. That's actually a very, 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 very good comparison. That Logan shit, yeah, that's what I would want to. Absolutely, just like that.
Yeah, give him a nice fucking send off. Just
Because
completely
that shit
destroy
almost had me
everything.
when they got my boy Logan, man. I said he did all this in this movie, y'all. He chopped off at least 90 heads, at least, just to. Uh,
I
that
just
shit
wonder how
hit
they're
me,
gonna
bro.
do it because, like, you know, if this is, the downfall of Asgard and Kratos is out there to just cause mayhem and kill everybody, like,
It's
you
gonna
know,
have to be via like a new villain that's super strong and that they let be super strong for like a couple games. Like it can't be like no villain that dies off fast. It has to be some new dude, I think, that just.
I'm sure the main guy is gonna be Odin. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like the main one out of all the Norse, I would say.
Do you
So
think that's the catalyst to bring on to the next set of games though?
what do you mean
Or do you see
catalyst?
what I'm saying? So basically, the way how I'm looking at it, and granted, I could be completely off on this, but I always saw it as a thing where, because he's the god of war, right? So he's
Mhm.
like, it's going to be hard to kill him, but whoever kills him should be just like the god of war, but a little bit more so, right? And
Mhm.
then I always thought it would be a thing where he dies, and then the son is almost on some. I have the last few belongings of my dad. I'm gonna go avenge him. I'm gonna go save everybody. Blah blah blah. But to me, that story only really works if the person who killed Kratos is allowed to like breathe for a little bit. Like you can't just have it be a thing where Kratos gets killed or gets removed from the story or whatever, and then the son instantly goes after this guy, and then they fight, and then it's over. Like it can't be that. Like this shit gotta breathe. Like it
Well, it could
definitely
be like
gotta
one of
be
those
a.
situations where like it could be a final boss fight and like they're banging out both like near death kind of, and like it's a point where like maybe something happens to where you know maybe like Odin is about to kill his son Atreus, and then like he comes in to save the day, but like gets killed in the process of killing him. You know what I'm saying? It could be something like that. And then next God of War is like Atreus is just like roaming around in whatever you know mythology he wants next.
I also feel like you could do it the Last of Us way. Last of Us Part Two. Spoilers. I mean, it's been a while, but
It's
uh,
been
yeah. But oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? Manny, help me, help
Joel.
me.
Joe.
Joel. Joel dies in the first, like the prologue. Basically, we're gonna call it the prologue, and they kind of set the stage for who the group who kills them. And they give that some time to breathe through the course of the game until you get close to the end and things happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They could do it that way, like give the antagonist their own moment in the prelude, and then through the course of the game you build out that character through flashbacks or different
Yeah.
interactions, multiple battles. There's a couple different ways they could do it, but
I just wonder what's gonna happen because his son is Loki. You know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna be something where like I don't know. Like I just don't know. I
They
don't
have
know.
a chance to really do something really cool with that story, like going
Yeah.
forward. You know what I mean? Because so far they've done a great job with it. But like, if they really wanted to get people invested and really, really buy into the son character, who I don't know his name. What's his name?
Atreus.
Yeah.
Uh,
Betrayus?
Her name
Atreus.
is
Oh, I was about to say,
yeah.
why would they name him Betrayus?
Now his name is Atreus, but his also other name is Loki.
Oh,
Oh, pause. I'm confused. Hold on. So Kratos'
Fine.
son is named Loki, or Odin's son is named Loki? Because that's how I understood it.
Well, like in the end of the game, you find out that his son's name is Loki. Like, well,
Atreus's name is Loki.
yeah.
I don't remember that.
So is it
You
is
remember
it
that?
But
Because
I
in
I
the
could
end,
play.
of God of War, they go to the tie-in tower to like I think what throw his mom's ashes, and during that process, there's like a bunch of like letterings on the wall, and then you see like what is it called? Like he reads one of them, and it like points out to his son being Loki.
I'm going back to play that game today.
so
Going
is
back to play
is
that
is
shit
Kratos
today.
like a stepdaddy? Is he
I don't. I mean,
Well,
this
technically,
is
Loki's son isn't. Sorry, Odin isn't really Loki's son.
Oh yeah, you're right. See,
So
this is the good shit.
yeah,
Good shit. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we need right here. Right here. Make it good. Give me the narrative. Make me get behind the sun in a way where it's like, yo, go get your revenge, yo. Go take their heads off of your boy. And I tell you what makes it even sweeter. If whoever kills Kratos takes his blades and wields them the whole time until you get the final fight. Man, them's my dad's blades. He had them blades for like 5 games, bro. You disrespectful, bruh. Like, nah, bruh.
But
I
his
want
son
it
do
to
got
be
the
good,
daggers,
man.
yo. He got the Loki daggers. Oh,
Nah. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The same Johns my man Kratos done had since God of
I
War
know, Blaze
1
of
for
Chaos,
PS2. Yeah, them Johns. Yeah. The iconic weapons that he's always used.
bro. Like when they brought that back
chains.
in God of
Mm.
War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like if they took that, if they modernized that, that could be wild. But the axe mechanic and how it can come back to you, it was always like a Thor thing, and it's interesting that they're finally like getting there with this game. But yo, the chains, or the blade chains. I don't know what I forget what
I,
the
I, I think
actual
I
name
think
of.
I think it's Son of Chaos. So it's either Chains of Chaos or Blades of Chaos.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like when they brought it back last God of War game, I thought it was pretty solid what they did. Like it didn't like have like all the other features that like it did in the sense where it's like you had like what is it called? The blades could, well, at least in God of War Ascension, it was like you could use it like Hades' power with it and like Poseidon's power and all that kind of stuff. So
But I want that in this like era of God of War. You know, like
Yeah.
the way, like the over the shoulder thing, and like the I want. Oof.
they had it
I
last
think
game.
this. Manny, I gotta go replay the game. I
You
gotta go
must have
replay
not
the game.
beat the game. You
I
must not.
forget. I've forgotten almost everything about this now.
Yeah, there's a
I
where
remember.
like you were
I,
like chilling with Athena, and then Athena like guides you to where like the blades of chaos were, and then you just grab and smack
but I
with
don't
it.
remember playing with them. I remember what you just said. I don't remember playing with them. I gotta go back and play this game, bro. Fuck.
And
It's
that's
been a
why I'm
Yeah.
minute.
playing it because it's been.
I
But
knew I was gonna go back and play it anyways because the new one was coming out, and I definitely needed to like catch myself back up. But now you got me fucked up. I gotta replay this shit. I beat the game. I beat the game
oh
because
man,
I
I
was
know
game
it's been
sharing with
like what
Adam at the
5.
time. Yeah, it's been a minute. That was the only reason I had my PS4 at the time. I beat it, and
I
then
remember that.
yeah, then I got rid of it, and then Spider Man came out, and I got another one for Spider Man, and then I got rid of it again. So this is probably the longest I've had a PlayStation, but it's a PS5, so obviously I can't just try to get rid of it so quickly. Oh, all right, but yeah, I mean that's enough for God of War. We'll see what becomes of it on November 9th. But we did have another story this week that we wanted to talk about real quick, and that is the return of E3. So the ESA officially announced that they are returning, supposedly. I mean, they've said that before, but they gave a little bit more information now. So they're partnering with the company that's responsible for PAX and also the Star Wars celebration, Reed Pop. And they're going to be working together to redefine E3 and create a brand new experience. Words that we've probably heard before and probably may have been true if it wasn't for the pandemic. But I know I know we've talked about on the podcast before that E3 is dead. It's probably not coming back. But I know we did also talk about the idea that based off of how this E3 looked, it was probably the best time for the ESA to take a little break. Take a little break. I gotta say, I'm still skeptical, but the idea of the people who run PAX and the Star Wars Celebration has me slightly more optimistic because PAX has been going strong even through the pandemic. You know, they've come out with good stuff, and they're more public facing. Like PAX has always been a great public facing event to get together, network with people, see creators. So if E3 pivots in that direction even harder, I think that could be a good thing. I know that some media outlets don't necessarily love that idea because they want the exclusivity of being able to touch games, and that part probably won't change. The year that I went to E3, the first day was exclusively for media people, and like media people had their specific times to play certain games. So I'd imagine some of that stuff may stay the same, and media gets access to behind closed doors demos and whatnot. Like I remember when Cyberpunk was out there, the only way people could see it was behind closed doors. So I'm sure that stuff won't go away, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I want to get each of your takes on this, Chris. I know you've been the most vocal about wanting to go to E3 and see it come back. So what do you say?
This kind of maybe somewhat alleviates a little bit of the pain that was felt. Every day I wake up and I brush my teeth, I take my morning poo, and I think about, damn, we didn't go to E3. Damn. That shit had me fucked up, bro. Like, we were so ready. So all I can say about this is I am wishing them the best. And as soon as they announce that it's definitely, absolutely, officially happening, yeah, my ass is still trying to go. Definitely, like, as soon as they announce that shit, ticket, let's do this. Let's go. Because I've been dying to do something like this, man, and I've been dying for opportunities to network and really be able to talk to people in person about what we do and all that stuff. And this is one of them things that can help you do that. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we've had an E3 since these new consoles have come out, right? Like not at all. I don't think.
We had one last year, but not like, you're right, not like in person traditional.
In person, yeah. Right. Yeah. So like I think that's exciting if it happens. I do agree with you also on PAX, also all like doing good stuff every time I hear about them. I do expect them to kind of, if it does happen, to like tweak a lot of things, because I don't know if you guys saw that anime convention that they had a couple weeks back, but it was wild, and it had got to the point where they literally were just telling folks, you can't come in no more. Like, nah, we're not taking no more people in here. Like, that's not happening. So I think they're gonna take some measures to make sure shit like that doesn't happen, and other things. But I'm just happy we're supposedly getting something back in some form. I miss this stuff. Not saying that the summer has been bad without E3 either, though, because the digital showcases are decent. They're definitely decent, but I don't know, man. I just wanted to be able to go out and do it. I think everybody who's a gamer should experience this at least once. In the same vein as, like, I think anybody who likes entertainment in general should probably go experience a Comic-Con at least once. You got to at least go do this stuff, man, and get out there and meet your peers and see what happens. This would be a perfect spot for, like, I'm telling you, if we get them T-shirts that we've been talking about and then we go to places like this, so many people are going to ask, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, and it's just good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to come at this with any kind of negativity. I'm also not going to try to get myself too high on it, because just like they made the announcement, it's very quick for them to just be able to take it away. And I'm not going to say and act like COVID's gone, because it's not. It's still very much still out there. So, yeah, no, I feel good about it. I'm happy. Please don't take it back.
So Manny, in the interest of time, I'm actually going to ask you a different question that we can, dive into real quick. So we saw Summer Games Fest happen this year. Summer Games Fest Live left some things to be desired, but the influencers and the people who got a chance to go to the actual in-person stuff really liked what they saw. They loved being able to play like Cuphead and Street Fighter and all that other stuff, right? It looks like, based off of what Jeff Keighley's saying, he's going to expand that and do more, right? So we're literally going to get a Summer Games Fest and an E3 going head to head. I'm assuming it's not going to happen at the same time. Maybe it will. I guess it might be beneficial for Jeff to have it go at the same time, to have everybody, there. Like, even if it's like a week before or a week after, something along those lines. What do you think about that? What do you think is going to be the dominant one? Like obviously E3 has the name recognition, but at the same time, Jeff Keighley has the connection. So, like, how do you think that's going to go?
I'll say it all honestly depends on what will be, announced around that time period. Like, for example, this year, Microsoft was like the only showcase really that popped off, like that did their thing besides the Summer Games Fest. And it's like, you go to E3 and the only thing you're playing is like, like a demo of Starfield or whatever, and you're not really getting that full E3 experience. So it all depends on who's there and willing to do a showcase for that E3 week. Because like you said, Jeff Keighley already he's good with his connects. He can do, pull some moves if he has to. Like you said, come out with like exclusive demos like the Street Fighter and Cuphead and so on. So um, yeah, like I said, it just all depends on the vendors who come and who's willing to, put demos and where and what. And, if like Jeff Keighley comes out with exclusive demos for Ubisoft, or like if, E3 gets exclusive demos from, Square Enix and stuff like that. So it just all depends on who's there and who's willing to give out the demos. Because I know like a lot of vendors are, like at least this year, have like not had a showcase yet around this time. So
Yeah. I think this year, the problem with this year is people just didn't have anything to show. And I think
yeah.
that the ESA might have known that and took it as an opportunity to kind of take a step back with E3. They didn't really, it didn't make sense to do a digital show because they weren't going to have the hitters they wanted to have. Obviously you couldn't do the physical show because there was concerns about COVID, and also they didn't have the things that they really wanted to have. So I think it made sense for them to take a step back. Obviously we don't know the future, but we definitely seem to be in a place where we're more adjusted to COVID. So we know how to maneuver around it. And obviously you have things like that anime con that happened. You have Comic-Con that's supposed to be taking place either next week or the week after or something along those lines. You had the Star Wars celebration that took place. So like things like this have been going on. They're happening, and they seem to be happening at a high level of success. So I think I can definitely see E3 or this Summer Games Fest, being expanded to the public more. And I'm definitely very curious to see what that's all going to look like. And it's something we're probably going to get more information about within the next couple months, if anything. I'm sure there's going to be some talk around it. So definitely something that we'll revisit for sure. But we're running low on time, so I think we're going to end it here. But guys, again, if you guys are listening or watching, thank you for supporting us. If you're on the audio podcast, make sure to check us out on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure to check us out on the audio podcast stuff. Just appreciate any support that you guys can offer, and also make sure to check us out on our social medias. At XPackPod on Twitter and on Instagram, and then also search us up on TikTok at TikTok at Expansion Pack Podcast. Thank you guys again for watching and listening, and we'll check you guys out next week. Peace.
Oh yeah.